Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom.
Be yourself and don't change yourself for anyone.
This is WJZ's Black History Oratory Competition speech event. From Morgan State University, here's Nikki ZaZa.
Hello, everyone. I am Nikki ZaZa, and welcome to the 2024 WJZ Black History Oratory Competition. For over 30 years, WJZ has proudly challenged young people to use the power of words to speak up and speak out about issues that matter to them most. And we asked high school students from all across Maryland to write an original essay based on three quotations, one of three: Thurgood Marshall, Frederick Douglass, and Oprah Winfrey. And today, the students with the top scores will perform those essays to compete for scholarship prize money. Our finalists will perform right here in the Morgan State University Student Theater before an audience of family, friends, teachers, educators, and of course, judges. So before we introduce you to these amazing students, allow me to introduce some very special guests that we have. All right, so first and foremost, let's meet our judges who scored all the essays and who are here with us today. Jennifer Umezinwa from Morgan State University, the English and Language Arts Adjunct Lecturer. Please stand up. She here? All right. Next, we have from the Enoch Pratt Free Library, Young Adult Library Associate, Jacqueline Birdnell. And Acting Director of Women and Gender Studies, Dr. Janice Jarrett. And from WJZ, Sales Manager Michelle Wilson. Now, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for our sponsors. They made this competition possible, and they need a hand too. All right. Megan McCorkle with the Enoch Pratt Free Library. Jaquetta Bradley with Walmart, and Del Jackson with Morgan State University. Thank you so much. And representing WJZ, we have our president and general manager, Kathy Hostetter, who would like to make a few remarks before we continue. Kathy.
Thank you, Nikki, and good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome all of you to this proud moment as we open the WJZ Black Oratory Competition. In the months where we honor the incredible contributions that Black communities have made throughout history, WJZ is honored to celebrate all of you as our finalists for our annual oratory competition. For over 30 years, WJZ has proudly hosted this incredible, moving, powerful, student-centric event. We are thrilled to once again bring the oratory competition back here to Morgan State University and to bring tradition forward. We want to thank Walmart, who once again funded a large portion of the prize money for which you are all competing today. Congratulations to all of our students and our finalists, and best of luck to all of you in this esteemed competition. Have a great competition.
The moment is approaching. Thank you, Kathy. All right, so now without further ado, the moment you have all been waiting for, the speech portion of the WJZ Black History Oratory Competition. And first up, to start us off, Olivia Avette.
Good afternoon, my name is Olivia Avette. Thurgood Marshall once said, "None of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns bent down and helped us pick up our boots. Marshall was the first African American to become a Supreme Court justice and recognized that the American dream was not accomplished by an individual solely. It took a group effort to achieve the best for America. To me, this quote exemplifies that while our society focuses heavily on the need for independence, help is always necessary in order to achieve our goals. There's a difference between wanting to be independent and doing everything alone. Accepting help does not weaken a person. Even LeBron James could not beat a 5-person NBA basketball team alone. If a great basketball player who has broken many all-time records and is considered one of the best in the NBA cannot beat such a team alone or do everything alone, then how can anyone expect to? The truth is, we cannot. Even James accepts help from his teammates and only holds his status due to their assistance. Basketball is a team sport, just like life, and if we cannot stand to accept help, then we stand to accept nothing. Given this, Marshall's quote still holds true today and signifies that help is necessary in order to achieve our dreams. Moreover, self-reliance does not imply success. When we refuse to seek out help from others, there's always a chance we may fail. I know it might be uncomfortable to receive help when we feel we should have it all together, but as I figured out in my sophomore year of high school, help is more necessary than we may believe. When I noticed my grades were slipping, I tried everything I possibly could to get them back to the standard I hold for myself. But without the help of my teacher, I would have been unsuccessful. She helped me edit and complete work I otherwise would not have been able to do. By accepting help from my teacher, I was able to succeed. I did not receive an A in that class solely through hard work. I received it through her help, and I am forever grateful for that. When one chooses to ignore help, it puts them at a severe disadvantage, proving that help is vital in achieving desired outcome, just as Marshall's quote confirms to me. In conclusion, Marshall's quote symbolizes that help from others is always necessary in order to achieve our goals, despite this preconceived notion that independence is always the answer. Because doing everything alone isn't practical, and self-reliance does not translate to success. Being strong enough to ask for help does not mean we are helpless, regardless of how difficult it may seem. It means that we recognize that no matter how strong we are, there will always come a time when we will need assistance to reach our goals. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Sharon Bala.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Sharon Bala and I'm a junior at River Hill High School. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak today. Self-made. For most people, those two words evoke a sense of intense respect and awe. But is anyone truly self-made? America's first African-American Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall, so eloquently stated that none of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or just a few nuns, bent down and helped us pick up our boots. Marshall's wise words disprove the idea of an absolutely self-made person. Every successful individual had a mentor, a pillar of support, and a source of inspiration. Yet, so many of us fall into this trap where we reject support and buy the idea of individualistic success. But let's imagine for a second that life is a towering wall. On one side, the grass is green. This is the world of success and satisfaction. On the other side, it's far bleaker. This is the world of dissatisfaction and adversity. Now, how can we climb over the wall and enter the land of success? By ourselves, we can only reach up so high. Attempting to scale the entire wall would be a futile effort. The only way we can get over it is by standing on the backs of others and using their support. Now, this is where humility becomes extremely important. Take the help of those who want you to succeed. Because if you don't, you'll never reach the other side. Now, say you've opened yourself up and allowed others to help you over the wall into the land of success. You're happy, you're satisfied, and you've accomplished your wildest goals. So what now? Now you give back. Because part of humility is realizing that not only do you need others' help to succeed, but others need your help too. So once you've made it, throw a ladder over and help those who don't have a person to support them like you did. Black History Month celebrates the incredible contributions made by America's Black community, a community that has unfortunately long faced the crippling impacts of racism and oppression. To me, selflessness means being an ally to the Black community and other communities that have faced systemic oppression. It's important to understand that we live in a world of haves and have-nots. Not everyone has the privilege of a support system. So to me, Marshall's quote means to be somebody else's ladder. He inspires me to be selfless and to be humble. Now, as I progress through life, I certainly want to be successful. So I'm going to take all the support I can get. But at the same time, I'm going to bring others with me. Thank you so much for this opportunity once again, and good luck to my fellow competitors.
All right. Next up, we have Madeline Campbell.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Madeline Campbell. I am in the 10th grade and I attend Arlington Baptist School. We got here because somebody helped us. As a child of deaf adults, otherwise known as a coder, I had no way to learn proper speech. I had no voice. I couldn't express myself in the ways that others could, because nobody understood what I said. Other children would ridicule me for my speech. The harassment caused me to be insecure about my voice and overall the way people viewed me as a human being. I grew up going to speech therapy with several therapists, which never worked, until this wonderful African-American woman, who we will call Brielle, helped me. She reminded me of the fruit of the Spirit, but three of them stood out: love, patience, and gentleness. Love is not just an emotion, but also an action. And Brielle clearly showed that. She took time out of her day, 3 times a week, teaching me how to speak properly. Brielle didn't only sacrifice her time and energy, but she also was determined to see me improve. At our first ever session, she recorded my voice on a tape recorder so that I could hear back what I was saying, which was complete gibberish. And from there on, she would help me pronounce words, from reading children's books, to Bible verses, to eventually reading a book called Hearts of Fire. Patience, the ability to wait, being slow to speak and slow to wrath. Brielle had incredible patience with me, even when I refused. Whether it was refusing to read the book when I didn't feel like doing so that session, or simply struggling to pronounce a word. She always took her time with me, even though she wasn't being paid for those sessions. She could have been rude, harsh, or strict with me, but she wasn't. Instead, she was flexible with me, because she understood that I was simply struggling. Gentleness, a trait of wisdom, love, and curiosity. Brielle was always sweet, encouraging, and overall caring of others. Instead of only asking how I've been, she would ask each session what I did the other day, what I learned in homeschooling, or if I've been improving in my speech whenever I had a conversation with someone. She always encouraged me She always encouraged me to improve, as she always mentioned at the end of each session how much I had progressed from the beginning. She was constantly smiling all the time, being a bundle of joy and positivity to others. If it wasn't for her 3 years ago, you wouldn't be able to understand me. Although I still struggle with some words or parts of speech, she helped me immensely throughout those 3 years. Without her, I wouldn't have my own voice today. Without her, I wouldn't be able to express myself. Without her, I wouldn't be confident in my voice. Because of her love, patience, and gentleness, I have my own voice where I can easily express myself. Brielle is a gift from God in my life, a gift I will never forget. Small actions, whether good or bad, strongly impacts others. What choice will you make? Thank you.
Next up, we have Abby Chadwick.
Educate your sons and daughters. Send them to school and show them that besides the cartridge box, the ballot box, and the jury box, you also have the knowledge box. This was told by Frederick Douglass, an important figure for his time, who showcases his strength and fortitude through his many accomplishments. Douglass took part in the Underground Railroad. He was an abolitionist, and he was an advisor for President Lincoln at the time of the Civil War. In his speech, Douglass meant for the quote to stand for his fellow African Americans to prove their place in society to the people who doubt. To me, in 2024, Frederick Douglass's quote means to rise above circumstance and not to prove worth, but to show worth. In history, there have been many stories about heroes proving their worth through good deeds. For example, Arthur and the stone sword Excalibur. The story goes that he who pulled the sword from the stone was worthy. This means that when Arthur pulled the sword from the stone, he was showing his worth, yes, but also that he already inherently had that worth, that he just needed to pull the sword in order to prove it. While in our modern day and age there is no Excalibur and there is no stone, there is an Arthur, us. We all yearn for a chance to prove ourselves worthy, to showcase our power and help the world. To me personally, Arthur is a symbol. He symbolizes that our worth is inherent, that it is already within us. We also show our worth through showing our mental prowess. As Francis Bacon said in his Meditationes Sacrae, knowledge itself is power. From this quote, it is apparent that what we know, our knowledge, is everything when it comes to power. In our current times, we can use this to help or hurt, creating changes unimaginable for the future using this great power. To me, knowledge is the basis of life. What we know makes up our personality, and what we know guides us to become the people we are. Douglass makes a point about sending our sons and daughters to be educated, and that in itself holds the greatest power of all. The power of giving knowledge to youth, who can take that knowledge and transform our worlds and futures. To me, in 2024, Frederick Douglass's quote means to rise above circumstance, and not to prove worth, but to show our worth through our good deeds and mental prowess. The reason that this quote is relevant matters, even in 2024 today, over a century later, is because it carries the timeless message that despite the circumstances that we may face, there will always come a time for us to prove ourselves. The relationships we build, the changes we can make, that is what will change our tomorrow. We all hold worth. We all hold talent. We all hold power. It is what we choose to do with this worth that matters. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Amala Cook.
That look that we get when we walk into a room and stick out like a sore thumb. That look that we get when we say something smart or correct of disdain mixed with surprise. That look that we get when we defend ourselves. That look is normally accompanied by the words, "Don't be so dramatic." But we're not being dramatic. Racism and sexism is an inability to see others as equals because of skin color or gender. They are used to keep white men feeling superior. They tell women, "You will never be capable. People of color, you will always be below us." It's used to keep people down. Oprah Winfrey said, "I was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent for racism or sexism." I believe this to be true. People can deny something all they want, but seeing is believing. Often, sexism is disguised as protecting women from the harsh realities of the world, but it just limits our potential. Luckily, the greatest motivator is someone saying that something cannot be done. My mom was told by her high school guidance counselor that she could not be an architect because she wasn't good enough at math. 7 years later, with a master's degree in architecture, she sent him a copy of her first paycheck. The guidance counselor sparked a fire in my mother that still burns every time she's called sweetie by a contractor or mistaken as her boss's wife. Surya Bonali, a French Olympic figure skater, joined the white-dominated sport in the 80s. She was seen as not thin enough, not graceful enough, and although no one said it out loud, not white enough. She decided that if she couldn't join him, she'd beat him. She became the first and only person ever to do a backflip on ice and land on one blade. The Barbie movie. Now, I wasn't expecting much cinematically speaking, but it's a feminist masterpiece. Yes, Barbie, who inspires eating disorders across America. Isn't she just great? Matter of fact, she is. Barbie is more than what she appears. She struggles but is poised. She hurts but she keeps it together. She is disrespected but she fights back. Joe Coy is an American stand-up comedian who recently hosted the Golden Globes, displaying that sometimes excellence isn't enough. During his opening monologue, he says, Oppenheimer is based on a 721-page, Pulitzer Prize-winning book about the Manhattan Project. And Barbie is on a plastic doll with big... Yeah, he didn't get it. Men see the Barbie movie as some silly little film that doesn't make sense. But it's not surprising that it doesn't. They were never taught to care about what shape their face or body was, to watch what they eat, or how to look desirable. Sometimes showing excellence doesn't have to prove people wrong. It can also inspire people to change things. Oprah Winfrey was spot on. Women and people of color have to work twice as hard to get half of the reward. But it's worth it, because we are enacting change. Some people believe that there is no more racism or sexism in the United States, that we are the epitome of equality, but we are not. People need to see that. People need to see that, yes, we have made a lot of progress, but now is no time for a break. If we stop, if we falter, our rights will be taken away again. I think that was pretty well written for a girl. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Jessie Fowley.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jesse Fowley, and I attend Arlington Baptist School. Thurgood Marshall said, none of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns, bent down and helped pick us up by our boots. My message today is that as we go about our daily lives, as we work towards a better tomorrow, as we strive towards developing a better society, we must remember the people who sacrificed into foundations that we often overlook or take for granted. Individual achievements and success is rarely accomplished single-handedly. No one is self-made because success must be attributed to the assistance of parents, teachers, and miscellaneous factors. When you are surrounded by more experienced people, what you work towards begins to become a reality. People such as parents bring the earliest and most impactful forms of pedagogy into someone's life. They input morals and standards in their child to pass on to their preceding generations. This in turn results in the future success of not only their child, but their previous generations. Our parents of the United States, who are the founding fathers, set laws and principles that we still use today. They stress the importance of high work ethics and moral values, which have been passed down, resulting in the flourishing of our nation today. Teachers are essential for the developmental advancement of our education. Without teachers, I wouldn't be able to comprehend the abstract, produce creativity, or receive guidance. Teachers can be seen as people to look up to, becoming mentors in the lives of students. This unwavering commitment and sacrifice to coach the next generation will no doubt lead to the success of many individuals. Additionally, teachers provide opportunities for students to expand their education. Furthermore, people are not the only influence on our success, whether it's through open-door policies or mentorship programs or extracurricular activities. High schools boast a myriad of a network of activities that will propel the support of students participating in them. The mentioned settings here instill collaboration and the pursuit of excellence, which is beneficial. Like many situations, having access to top-level education or knowing someone who's in a prestigious position will likewise open opportunities and contribute to our individual success. We must embrace the idea that we cannot attribute our achievements to individual merit, but that we be a more empathetic and collective society working towards the path to success. Parents and teachers are living proofs that people picked us up by our boots. In conclusion, we must express our gratitude to all parents, teachers, mentors, and institutions who picked us up by our bootstraps as we celebrate the Black History Month at all times. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Next up, we have Brianna Marie Harper. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brianna Marie Harper. I go to George Washington Carver A&T, and my prime is dance. My essay is titled, The Myth of the Self-Made Narrative, Embracing Interdependence. The quote by Thurgood Marshall states, "None of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because of somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns bent down and helped us pick up our boots," has profoundly resonated with me, prompting reflection on the interconnectedness of our journeys and the invaluable role of support in our achievements. Marshall's words underscore the fallacy of the self-made narrative. It's a reminder that our success is often a collaborative effort, shaped by the assistance and guidance we receive along the way. Personally, I can trace my own accomplishments back to mentors, educators, and family members that played pivotal roles in my development. The impact of a supportive network became evident to me during my academic journey. Teachers not only imparted knowledge, instilled confidence, but also provided guidance. Their encouragement fueled my aspirations, reminding me that my success was intertwined with their investment in my growth. Similarly, my parents served as unwavering pillars of support, sacrificing for my education and imparting invaluable life lessons that shaped my character. Marshall's mention of an Ivy League croonie or a few nuns highlights the diverse forms that support can take. It emphasizes that assistance may come from unexpected sources, from mentors and prestigious institutions to individuals motivated by altruism. In my own experience, I've encountered guidance from unexpected quarters, reinforcing the meaningful support that emerges from backgrounds in various walks of life. Furthermore, the quote challenges the myth of rugged individualism and underscores the importance of empathy. It prompts us to recognize the responsibility we bear in supporting others on their journeys. Marshall's words serve as a call to action, urging us to extend our hands and to lift others as we were once lifted. In conclusion, Thurgood Marshall's powerful quote has left an indelible mark on my perspective, prompting gratitude for the collective effort that shapes individual success. It serves as a testament to the symbiotic nature of achievement, encouraging us to acknowledge and appreciate those who attributed to our journeys. As we reflect on our accomplishments, let us not forget the hands that reach down to help us pick up our boots, fostering a culture for reciprocity and shared success. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Laura Lee Jimenez.
Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. My name is Laura Lee Jimenez, and I am a freshman at Harper Technical High School. Oprah Winfrey once said, "I was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism." In the world we live in, racism and sexism have been recurring issues. We as a society have progressively gotten better at accepting others and helping raise our beliefs into believing that everyone deserves recognition for what they have accomplished, no matter if they are a man, woman, or of a different race. That said, those beliefs have implemented over time, but have also been washed away. Some seem to think that just because we have changed and grown from those idealistic beliefs, we have officially moved on. That is simply not the case with our current nation. Sure, people have moved on, but it is still an issue that has made this world what it is today. This quote resonates with me in many ways. To my understanding, Winfrey is trying to change how we think about racism and sexism. Of course, we can all admit that they are both terrible things that we deal with every day. But I believe she was trying to give us an insight as to why we should succeed. She wants us to be able to know that when we succeed, people will not be looking at our race or gender, they will be looking at us. When you accomplish outstanding and important things in this lifetime, you become known. This is an opportunity to give someone something to think about, change someone's perspective, and become a role model to others. That is when they will look at you as a person. While this is true, what is also true is that when you accomplish things, you should also do it for yourself. Not to prove something, not to look cool or fun, but to be able to show that you can do things if you set your mind to it. But by succeeding, you're showing the world that someone of your race, gender, or even social status can do anything anyone else can do and more. This quote is very personal to me because as a Dominican woman who was not born in this country, it has been hard to adjust to new customs, languages, and people. I have always felt as if proving I could do just as well as the others was the most important thing I would have to do. But I have proven myself wrong over the years. I have learned that if I want to succeed in this country, I need to work for it. To some, it might not make sense for me to dream of big accomplishments because it might be unlikely to happen. But that is simply not true. This is what I believe Winfrey is trying to stand against. The idea that someone will not be able to achieve something just because of who they are, where they came from, or what they already know. Thank you.
So next up, we have Tanaya Johnson.
Good afternoon. My name is Tanaya Johnson, and I will be presenting my essay based off of one of Oprah Winfrey's famous quotes. I was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism. Excellence and success. These are the things that will always surpass any sort of negative obstacle that attempts to hinder us. Whether man or woman, black or white, young or old, your excellence will always speak louder than a skin tone or gender. These words from Oprah Winfrey mean that excellence will always win over belief and is similar to the phrase, actions speak louder than words. Anyone can say that success is impossible due to an uncontrollable factor such as our race or gender. However, success does not come from our words. We cannot speak success into existence. Speaking only gives the idea of success or the possibility to have something to work towards. Race is not able to hinder or abolish excellence. Dr. Martin Luther King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech in 1963. He spoke, and then he put actions behind his words, from organizing peaceful protests to creating the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or the SCLC. Regardless of his race, he had a dream and he worked hard to ensure that the groundwork was laid so that his dreams could come true. Not even gender can silence success. Did Katherine Johnson, one of few black women mathematicians at NASA, have a road to success that was easy? Of course not. She was in high school at age 13, was later handpicked to integrate West Virginia's graduate school, and was the third African American to earn a PhD in mathematics. Even with all of these accomplishments, Ms. Johnson was not guaranteed success. In 1957, after providing the calculations for a document known as the Notes on Space Technology, Katherine was credited as an author. This event changed history because Katherine Johnson was the first woman to receive credit as the author of a research report. No one's ideas or beliefs can discredit the achievements that you have made. Have you ever heard the phrase, they make fun of you because they are jealous of you? Those who attempt to use negativity to bring you down only do it because they are incapable of moving up on their own. Oprah's quote, I was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism, tells us that no matter what people do, what they say, or their ideas about who you are or what you look like, they cannot take away from your success and your excellence. Excellence and success are the things that have deterred racism and sexism. Excellence will always outshine any negativity. Whether black or white, female or male, your excellence will always outshine those factors. Oprah has been raised with this mindset and has used the quote to operate her life. Excellence and success are always able to silence anyone or anything that attempts to stop you. In conclusion, success is able to withstand any obstacle that attempts to deter it. Thank you. This concludes my essay. Have a nice day.
All right, next up we have Chloe Kang.
Hello, my name is Chloe Kang, and I'm a junior at Liberty High School from Carroll County. Stepping into our museums, our history, we look up at their elaborate ceilings and all. Deftly crafted lines, animals, colors, they were all meticulously added to cement their place in history. However, there is one ceiling with its thorough planning and historical placement that has caused more pain, more resentment and anger than this. The glass ceiling. As Oprah Winfrey states, and she underscores that the solution to discrimination is through excellence, to overachieve, when she states, I was raised to believe that the best deterrent to racism or sexism is excellence, and that's how I operate my life. She underscores that it's how cultivating self-motivation and inner confidence are the best ways to take a child far away from the systems of racism, far away from the systems of sexism, and far away from the people who intend to bring that child down, no matter what they look like and no matter who they are. When I was in 4th grade, I moved from the very diverse Howard County to the very predominantly white Carroll County. And because I was the only Asian in my grade, I felt inferior. So I started solving math problems. I started writing fictional stories to mitigate my feelings of inferiority and self-surprise. This has only helped me because I was able to learn self-support and self-efficacy, and it led me throughout my whole journey. Now, Carroll County's racial diversity has only grown, leading us to now expect the best from our students, regardless of race, to excel in all aspects of education. Our Carroll County Board of Education released the 2023 Maryland State testing results. 49.3% of African Americans, 81.9% of Asians, and 47.2% of Hispanics had all passed proficiency in the English curriculum. All these demographic groups have increased their scores significantly, even from the start of the pandemic. This shows that all these demographic groups have the ability to shine. A county that has largely once ignored its minority students has now been forced to include them in the conversation. How could they not, with these rising test scores and an increased population and their showcasing of abilities? According to the Society of Human Resource Management, as of January 1st, 2023, 53 women have been female CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. 53. Before, females were seen as too emotional, unwilling to make final decisions, and incapable of leadership. However, women have fought for their right to sit at the table. They have fought for their right to speak. The increase of leadership emphasizes the growing movement of women who now understand the importance of representation, their role in representing. Although there's a pressure to act a certain way, they have been able to break stereotypes through cultural resets and hard work. The glass ceilings highlight the barriers. The glass ceiling highlights the opportunities open in the sky, and the thick barrier between minority groups and their dreams. It's made them impossible to ignore the desire for change. As Oprah Winfrey so eloquently claims, excellence is the best way to break racial and sexist barriers. The glass ceiling is a barrier, but it's just glass waiting to be shattered. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Grace Lee.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Grace Lee, and I'm a senior from River Hill High School in Howard County, Maryland. Thurgood Marshall's quote speaks to my experience overcoming my struggle with mental health through the support of a parent, a teacher, the school psychologist, a friend, and many more people. I had never felt my success was attributed to myself alone because I hadn't many external successes to judge myself upon. I hadn't experienced many mountains to climb with my boots until I met my biggest mountain, overcoming my struggle with mental health. Due to the pandemic, I, like many people, struggle with mental health. I had the support there if I wanted it, but I wasn't inclined to reach out to people to get it. Cultural stigma as an Asian American made it hard for me to acknowledge my struggle to myself, much less to the people around me. As much as I tried, my notes app was still flooded every day with waves of thoughts, 90% negative. As much as I yearned for relief from my depression, it began to oppress me further. In junior year, my teachers began to see that I was struggling. It was only then I became receptive to allowing myself to be helped to not stash away my mental health for fear of stigmatization. I figured if it was with the support of the people around me that I could confront this issue. I had open discussions about mental health with my teachers and counselors. I met with a psychologist and started seeing a therapist. I would no longer allow the struggle to fester within myself, causing casualties that I knew speaking with other people could remedy. I confronted these struggles with the strength of my parents, who pushed aside years of cultural stigmatization to seek mental health care for me. My counselor was the first hand on my boot. Then were my parents' 4 hands. Then the hands of my psychologist and teachers. My dad's hand is on my boot, coming with me to exercise every day. By planning a mental health assembly for my school, aiming to educate students about mental health, I am lifting the boot with my feet, with the hands of my principal, my teachers, and my counselor. Thankfulness. After 17 years, 6 months of living in Howard County, Maryland, I can now fully acknowledge the support of the people around me. My thoughts, once suppressed, are reinvigorated. My feet begin to lift of their own volition, but also with the hands, the spirits of the people in my life who have supported me. We are all individuals, yet I do not see myself as being alone. I now stand and take each step with the strength of my mind, my body, the nourishing love from my parents, my friends, and the support from my school, the county, and the great state of Maryland. Thankfulness. For the people who helped me pick up my boots, I lifted my feet and took steps towards better mental health. I put my foot down in a stance against stigma. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Ella Lovelace.
Hello, I'm Ella Lovelace and I attend South River High School. Oprah Winfrey's extraordinary accomplishments include being a talk show host, television producer, media proprietor, author, and actress. Through these accomplishments, she overcame the racism and sexism displayed by others. Miss Winfrey stated that she was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent to sexism or racism. This means that by doing something meaningful that defies the expectations of others, it is possible to cloak visual and genetic differences. Mae Jemison is another person who this quotation describes. As the first African American female astronaut, she is a prime example of what Miss Winfrey spoke about. She excelled in school with a passion for science and space. Her educational success ultimately drove her professional success. Miss Jemison persevered through sexist and racial discrimination and defied the world's expectations. She proved society wrong by succeeding at the very thing they doubted most just because of her gender and skin color. Becoming an accomplished astronaut was not only personally rewarding, but the spaceflight community benefited tremendously from her hard work, determination, and excellence in the field. The reason I look at Mae Jemison for inspiration is because I have a passion for flying and space travel and aspire to become a pilot. As a woman, I use the prejudice of others as fuel to prove them wrong. I often have to exert extra energy and study harder because it takes a lot to accomplish dreams like this, but it will ultimately help me succeed. Miss Winfrey's statement means a lot to me because I can relate to her ideas about sexism. I plan to continue working and following her motivational idea in order to defy sexism in my life through accomplishing personal goals. I also think of my mother when hearing Miss Winfrey's quotation. She has raised me to work hard, be smart, and pursue my passions. My mother has had to overcome sexism in her professional life. Ever since she was young, she has had a dream to become an architect, but she found very few female role models in the field. Rather than letting the large concentration of men intimidate her, she remained focused and accomplished what she started. By remaining steadfast, she successfully became a licensed, award-winning, published architect. Some may argue that people of certain genders and races have specific roles in society, such as the idea that only men are good at things like math and science. However, I believe that any individual can be successful through hard work, dedication, and fine-tuning their abilities. In summary, Oprah Winfrey's statement explains that sexism and racism can be overcome by success and refutes the false ideas of others. I hope to follow in the footsteps of my role models, Mae Jemison, Oprah Winfrey, and my mom, in order to overcome sexism throughout my life. Anyone can apply the ideas discussed by Miss Winfrey to their own lives. It's just a matter of effort and perseverance. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Noel Marcos.
Good afternoon. My name is Noel Marcos, and I go to River Hill High School. In the 1970s, my grandfather came to America for a short period where he studied at Tulane University in New Orleans. When I was 10 years old, I asked him if he had any experiences of discrimination while he was in the States. After a small silence, he recalled the story of when he was walking with a white classmate and a group of white men walked by, repeatedly calling him racial slurs. He explained to me that his experiences in America clashed with his upbringing in Ethiopia, where he had never experienced racism. The crazy part, when he was telling the story, he laughed it off. It wasn't bitterness. It was like he had this secret weapon against racism: excellence. Inspired by the words of Oprah, my family's journey has taught me that excelling, particularly in education, serves as the most powerful deterrent to discrimination. My grandfather could have allowed prejudice to ruin his experiences in America. The instances of taunting could have compelled him to return to Ethiopia with an incomplete master's degree. But he understood the sacrifice he had made to pursue an education and bring back valuable knowledge to his home country. Moreover, he recognized my mother, his daughter, looked up to him, and envisioned a future where she too would come to America to pursue an education. By showing excellence, my grandfather was able to earn a master's in public health from one of the nation's top research universities. Inspired by her father's example, my mother's journey in medicine presented its own set of challenges back in Ethiopia. She told me that she faced many obstacles, such as being the lone woman in many of her classes. Yet, her experiences when she came to America painted a different picture. A place where being a woman in medicine was not only attainable, but also celebrated. My mother showed excellence through her determination to seek a better life in America for herself and her future family, despite the societal expectations that often limited education for women in Africa. These stories in my family are more than just tales of survival. They represent a legacy of thriving against the odds. My grandfather and mother have taught me about the generational impact that goes beyond personal success. From facing derogatory names to moments of social discomfort, they show me that, regardless of the racism or sexism I may face due to my skin color and gender, excellence remains the ultimate response. In the face of challenges, I'll keep in mind that my achievements will always speak louder than the perceptions of my appearance. Thank you.
One second, Noel. Okay. Next up, we have Horizon Narula.
Hello, and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Shatiz Narula, but you can call me Horizon, whichever is easier for you to say. You might be wondering how I got that nickname, because Shatiz and Horizon are not the same. They don't mean anything, and the connection between them is not something that you might know yet. Well, it goes way back. I was born in 2007 in Nepal, a very poor and underdeveloped country at the time. It is still underdeveloped and still poor, but during that time, it was very hard for my family to survive. My family was struggling. We were barely making it. My mom was working tirelessly at a beauty salon while my dad was scrambling to find any work that he could find. And During childhood, I've gotten everything from my parents that anyone would want, and I'm very grateful for them. But even so, I was left alone at my house many times. And during that time, I would watch cartoons on a very old TV, probably from the 1980s. And whenever I wasn't watching TV, I would be talking with my imaginary friends, if you would say. My imaginary friends would just be anything that would be at my house, from tables to chairs, anything that I could find. And they would be my friend. This loneliness that I faced in my house led to my character today. It made me develop anxiety and a introverted nature that still carries on right now. And I don't blame my parents for that, but it does develop to my character today. You can probably imagine how that was. During this time, my parents, whenever they were with me, would constantly tell me about education and how that was the key to success. If I studied hard, then I would be able to do well in the future, and I would be able to get a good job in the future, and a good job would mean more money. And as a kid, I didn't really understand the value of money and how it would do in the society. And that, as a kid, I didn't understand. But they did plant a seed in my head that kept me constantly motivated to do well in school. This wasn't anything new in Nepal, though, because most of the people there, more than 20% of the people, were below the poverty line. And their parents would tell their kids the same thing that they told me. And so this wasn't really anything new or anything, but this made me really study really hard. Whenever I wanted something as a child, I would always ask my parents if they had any money on them, because I knew I couldn't buy anything that's way too expensive. I would always ask for small candies or toys whenever I wanted something, and I would hold the urge to ask for something expensive. You could probably imagine how that was. Because of this, I studied as hard as I could. Slowly but surely, we climbed our way up through the social ladder, but that changed after my brother was born. His birth momentarily set us back, but it also brought a twist of fate, a stroke of luck. Not even 3 years after he was born, we were granted a visa to America. Now, America is very different compared to Nepal. It brought us very vast amount of opportunities, from job opportunities to economical opportunities, better education, better healthcare, etc. Just in comparison, $1 is about 120 rupees in Nepal, and this much money could feed a person for an entire week during that time, at least, because now, because of inflation, the costs are higher. But you could probably imagine how that was very important for me. But everything has a bad side to it. America's was racism and a language barrier. My unclear English got me names in school, and that was worse because of my name. My name is Shatiz, and it's spelled K-S-H-I-T-I-Z. Now, yes, it starts with a K, and it's silent, though. You say it's Shatiz, but there's something else in my name. Let me just say it again. K-S-H-I-T-I-Z. Okay, you probably heard it, and you could imagine what kids would call me in school. It means horizon, the edge of the observable universe, and that's how I got my nickname. But not only that, they used to call me other names as well. They used to call me Indian boy because I looked Indian. Honestly, though, I think I look more Hispanic, because not even a week ago, I asked my friends what they thought of me, and they said they thought I was Hispanic the entire time, and I've known him for 6 months. And he thought I was Hispanic, and I told him I'm Asian, and he didn't believe me at all. The verbal bullying made me isolate myself from my classmates, increasing the anxiety and my introverted nature. But it also ignited the fire of my resolve. if I excelled, I reasoned to myself. I thought I would be able to do better in school. I would outshine the bullies and be better at them academically and financially, stopping any kind of bullying, right? Well, according to my middle school and high school experiences, it isn't true. Due to my prowess in academics, I also got another name, nerd. Just not the stereotypical nerd that you might think with the glasses. In my third year of high school, though, my parents decided to move to Maryland here, Baltimore, Maryland, for business. I thought of many times to change my name into something else, but I've never wanted to change my name because my name is me. It defines who I am. But a nickname shouldn't count, right? Because it's still me. So I chose the nickname Horizon. Shatiz means horizon, so it doesn't change anything. Education didn't remove the racism that I faced in America, but it helped me find my voice and choose how I define myself. I learned to face the world with resilience, adaptability, and a newfound understanding of nuances of belonging. The quote from Oprah, "I was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism," hits deeply. Excellence wasn't a shield against adversity, but became a tool to navigate it. Education, while not a stairway to heaven, granted me the access to find my way, rise above limitations, and redefine what it means to thrive in a world that isn't always welcoming. My journey is far from over, but education has equipped me with the compass to chart my course. It's not just about the grades or achievements, but about the resilience, adaptability, and understanding it fosters. In a world that can be harsh, education empowers us to define ourselves, rise above limitations, and create our horizons. Just to be clear, horizon from my name, my nickname, and that, I wrote that on purpose, okay? Let us strive to be lifelong learners, not just for individual success, but to build a more inclusive and understanding world. Thank you.
All right. So next up is Camilla Nkworo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shamala Wakoro. Imagine a world where excellence reigns supreme, where the color of your skin, your gender, or your background holds no weight in determining your worth. Sounds like the ideal world, right? Oprah Winfrey once said, "I was raised to believe that excellence is the best deterrent to racism or sexism." These powerful words serve as a guiding light for us all, a call to strive to the highest level of achievement in the face of adversity. As we gather here today to celebrate the remarkable contributions of Black individuals, let us explore the transformative impact of excellence and how it can be used as a powerful tool to eradicate prejudice in our day-to-day lives. It is a sad truth that racism and sexism still exist in our society today, casting a dark shadow over the potential of countless individuals. However, Oprah Winfrey's words provide a glimmer of hope, reminding us that excellence possesses the potency to illuminate even the darkest corners of prejudice. By surpassing expectations, surpassing boundaries, we can obliterate preconceived notions and challenge the very foundations of discrimination. Excellence, as Oprah suggests, is the antithesis of bigotry. When we strive for excellence, we shatter stereotypes and prejudices that seek to define us. Through education, hard work, unwavering commitment, countless Black individuals like Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, and Martin Luther King Jr. have paved the way for future generations, proving that greatness knows no color. Their accomplishments stand as shining examples of how excellence can inspire change and empower others to transcend adversity. Furthermore, excellence serves as a catalyst for unity. It dismantles the walls that divide us. When I witness the excellence of others, I recognize that their worth lies not in their background, their physical attributes, but in their talent, their intelligence, and their character. By appreciating and celebrating excellence in all of its various forms, we foster inclusivity. We create a society where everyone can thrive and reach their fullest potential. While some may argue that achieving excellence is easier said than done, especially for those of us who face systemic barriers and deep-rooted prejudice, history has shown us that greatness can emerge even in the harshest circumstances. Oprah Winfrey herself emerged from a life of poverty, adversity, challenging societal norms, and carving her own path to success. Her journey is a testament to the transformative power of excellence. It propelled her to become one of the most influential voices in our world in this time. To conclude, Oprah Winfrey's words echo with resilience, with determination, unwavering belief in the power of excellence. She reminds us that excellence can act as an intimidating force to break down barriers and to inspire change. Let us remember the remarkable achievements of Black individuals who have defied all odds. Let us strive to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let us be the change that we wish to see and usher in a world where excellence prevails. That is what excellence means to me. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Chidi Owanibe.
Hello, I'm Chidi Owanibe, and I'm a freshman at McDonough High School. I am fortunate. I am fortunate that my grandparents are still alive and can share their stories. I am the grandson of a Civil War serviceman, the benefactor of generations that challenged societal norms to earn education, and the witness to a judicial system that never even tried to protect my community's civil rights. Even today, thousands fear being kidnapped or killed in my motherland. I am a first-generation Nigerian American, and when I visited Nigeria, me and my family were rushed into a tinted SUV by armed guards because Boko Haram, a militant group that disagrees with the benefits afforded to my ethnic group, had kidnapped 15 students earlier that month. My grandparents fought, voted, and organized to earn basic opportunities. But knowledge allowed them to take advantage of those opportunities when they came. When Frederick Douglass said, "Educate your sons and daughters and show them that besides the cartridge box, the ballot box, and the jury box, you also have the knowledge box." He was also giving us a way on how to fight oppression, but he was also supplementing his statement, "Success is when preparation meets opportunity." While the first three boxes Douglass mentioned create opportunity, the knowledge box allows you to take advantage of those opportunities. For example, even with Anne Marie's financial support, Frederick Douglass may have struggled to take the train from Philadelphia to Baltimore if he could not read the rail signs. I am proud to be American, and I know that many have fought for the opportunities I have. When Sergeant William Harvey Carney served in the 54th Massachusetts Infantry Regiment with the cartridge box on his right hip and became the first African American to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor, he was fighting for opportunity. When the 15th Amendment failed to protect citizens and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee organized a freedom vote, its leaders were fighting for opportunity. When the NAACP took on the case of the Scottsboro Nine and challenged years of unjustified incarceration and terrorization of the Black community, they were fighting for opportunity. In Mr. Douglas's autobiography, he recounts hearing his slave owner Hugh Ogg say, "Knowledge unfits a child to be a slave." This helped Douglas understand the direct pathway from slavery to freedom. I am too young to vote. I am too young to serve the jury. I am too young to join the military. But I can fill my knowledge box so that when opportunity arises, I will be ready, even if that opportunity requires me to bear arms for my country, vote for my elected official, or listen earnestly to the testimony of a convicted man or woman. The wisdom of Frederick Douglass's quote is that there are many boxes for fighting for opportunity, but the knowledge box not only allows you to fight for opportunity, but take advantage of that opportunity. Thank you.
Next up, we have Alexis Robinson.
Good afternoon, I'm Alexis Robinson and I attend Parkville High School. Clever, confident, honest, protective, strong-willed, watchful, and witty. These are all words used to describe a father. A father who laughs as his child falls down and then asks if they're okay after. A father who glances at the face of his son or daughter and can immediately tell something is wrong when they make eye contact, no words necessary. A father who doesn't hesitate to put himself in danger for the sake of his family. Men like this are not perfect. Nobody is. But it is men like this who you can pour your heart out to, and they will give you their undivided attention and listen. These men will let you go through life and watch you fail but try again, because they were the ones who gave you the strength and courage to overcome those failures. Thurgood Marshall says, "None of us got where we are today solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns, bent down and helped us pick up our boots." Recently, the mindset of the world has been independence and going through life all on your own. When people have this mindset, they become overconfident and will not listen to given advice. This causes unnecessary adversity and stress that can affect their future. Being successful and getting through life requires support and guidance from others. Throughout my life, the one trait I would always describe myself as was independent and refusing advice from others. Contrary to that trait, though, I have to agree with Thurgood Marshall that I would not be where I am today without a parent, specifically my father. He makes sure I'm not overwhelming myself with my aspirations, but keeps enough distance to where I can make my own decisions. The truth is, I needed someone there to guide me through my decisions that would be honest and experienced to make me successful. That is who my father was in my life and still is today. He picks up my boots when I try to pull myself up by my bootstraps. There is no way to get through life on your own. Get the courage to ask for guidance when things get tough, because they will. And you need someone there to help you and support you through it. Even if it's just a friend, ask them for their point of view or opinion on a subject. And you might just be surprised how much it could help. My dad happened to be the one who picked up my boots. And if you think you have no one around, look around you. You might be surprised by the support system you have surrounding you. Thank you.
Next up, we have Elizabeth Paris Russell Ward.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Paris Russell Ward, and I attend the Arlington Baptist School. Think back to when you were younger. Were you an independent child? Chances are the answer is no. You needed help from others to overcome some of the simplest challenges. While you may be older and more capable now, you still require assistance from time to time. As the great Thurgood Marshall said, none of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because someone, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or even a few nuns, bent down to help us pick up our boots. I am not exempt from this. Throughout my life, countless hands have reached out to help me to my feet. From the smooth alabaster hands of a stranger on the street to the warm, weathered hands of my grandmother. A kind word, their assistance, or even a bit of their time. Each encounter has strengthened me. One person in particular comes to mind as I say this. You see, I wasn't always the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed girl before you today. During my intermediate years, a lot had happened in my personal life. My parents had separated, and I was now divided between two households. Unfortunately, most of my teachers didn't care to determine the reason for my sudden unhappiness, likely chalking it up to mere laziness. There was one woman, however, who was willing to look past my perceived indolence and try to find the real reason for my decline. My former vice principal, who we'll refer to as Miss H. Miss H was an empathetic woman who, upon learning my academic and emotional struggles, stepped in to aid me. She actively worked with me, checking to make sure I did my work and frequently pulling me aside to check on me. I vividly recall one incident from 5th grade. We were talking about family units in one of my classes, and I just broke down. Rather than pause the lesson to assist me, my teacher allowed me to flee to the restroom, where Miss H later discovered me. She talked with me and calmed me down, allowing me to vent to her as well. This process continued until the day she retired. Truthfully, were it not for this woman, I might not be here today. She is the one who, at that time, bent down to help me pick up my boots. So now I implore you, dear listeners, to take a few seconds and think of those who have helped you along your journey. How did they aid you? Regardless of whether it was through grand gestures or a simple, "Are you okay?" I pray that it was impactful for you as mine was for me. Thank you.
Here you go. All right. Okay. Next up, we have Markeela Sanderson.
Honorable judges, parents, distinguished guests, viewers online, good afternoon. My name is Markeela Sanderson. I am a sophomore at Glen Burnie High School, and today I am here to tell you what the Thurgood Marshall quote means to me. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who believe they need no one, and those who feel that they constantly need someone. The quote by Thurgood Marshall, "None of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League corny, or a few nuns, bent down and helped us pick up our boots." This quote establishes that we will never reach our destinations alone. Throughout our lives, there are moments when we may need someone to bend down, help us, or even pick us up, even if that is the last thing we as humans would like to admit. As a high school student, I know firsthand that the pressure and constant thoughts about the future can be overwhelming. You may feel unmotivated and not good enough at times, making life feel crushing. To exasperate this feeling, we as humans often believe that we can do everything on our own. However, the truth is far from that. We navigate through life by leaning on people for help, allowing others to be there for us to ensure they can catch us and put us back on our feet when we're about to fall. To me, this quote signifies that you cannot do things alone because you'll never get anywhere in life by moving through it alone. We need a support system of people to provide help and encouragement, picking us up when we're down. I recognize that I would not be where I am without the people around me who have bent over backward to ensure that I know that there's a support system there if I am about to fall. My 8th grade counselor, Miss Natalie Shaw, is the person who picked me up when I was at my absolute lowest. Not only did she provide a support system for me, but she pushed me to be the best version of myself possible. The version that pushes to be the best at everything that she does. The version that sees herself as a smart, beautiful girl with an extremely bright future. And for that, I'll forever be thankful to her. Today, I present the version that she saw in me, the version she molded, and the version that believes in herself. Although, in all honesty, I believed I needed no one. Ms. Shaw showed me that it was okay to ask for help and okay to let people help me because we cannot get anywhere on our own. In conclusion, Thurgood Marshall quote means a lot to me. It reminds me that having good people around us is important in life. Going through life all by ourselves doesn't lead us anywhere. Every now and then, we might need someone to lend a hand, pick us up, and keep us moving forward. It's a simple yet powerful message about the importance of support and connections with others in our journey through life. Today, I encourage you to allow yourselves to be helped. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, we're getting there. Next up, Vivian Wong.
Hello, my name is Vivian Wong, and I'm a junior at South River High School. Thurgood Marshall, the first African-American Supreme Court Justice, wisely observed that none of us got where we are today solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got there because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns bent down and helped us pick up our boots. Regardless of one's circumstances, individuals are shaped by the impactful roles others play in their lives, whether it was through positive or negative influences. Each human interaction, both small and large, contribute to the intricate tapestry of memories and decisions that collectively shape the broader picture of our existence. Throughout history, many have achieved renowned success not solely by their own efforts, but with the support and guidance of others. The story of Usain Bolt, a Jamaican sprinter adorned with 8 Olympic gold medals, and his teacher, Lorna Thrope, has been inspirational to the masses. Bolt's success is largely attributed to Thrope. She recognized an extraordinary gift within Bolt, and with her benevolent gesture, started his sprinting career. Initially, he was drawn to the sport of cricket. However, he found a new passion in sprinting under Thorpe's guidance. Beyond high school, Bolt continues to share a strong connection with her, as she always kept him focused. In the delicate balance between mentor and mentee relationships, they navigate numerous possibilities that allow the young mentees to sprint beyond the boundaries of their initial aspirations. Teachers, akin to parents, become the architects of youthful minds by creating the path to success. The people we surround ourselves with have the power to influence us in different ways, no matter the connection we share with them. For some, it may be individuals on YouTube, while for others, it could be family members or friends. These individuals can help us broaden our horizons and achieve greater success. In my own life, YouTubers such as Mark Rober and Michael Reeves have influenced me. Through their videos, I gained the passion of computer science, which introduced me to new prospects and goals in the future. In other instances, my friends have assisted me to achieve my best. We hold each other accountable, allow ourselves to relax, and find new perspectives on various situations. These collectively help to create new mindsets and allow us to perform at our best. The right people can help us reach our full potential and create a brighter future for ourselves. Finding success in life relies on nurture. It allows the nature within individuals to reveal itself. Marshall's quote persists and carries a profound resonance in contemporary society, despite observing this in the 20th century. No matter the person, there will always be someone in their past that helped and assisted them to their current position. Recognize those people in your life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that concludes the speeches of the 2024 WJZ Black History Oratory Competition. Well done, finalists. All right? Well done. And good luck to the judges. I am glad I'm tasked to do this, and you have to select the winner. All right? And look, to find out who will win, you'll have to tune in to the WJZ Black History Oratory Competition. That's going to air February 24th at 7 p.m. on WJZ. And it's going to be an incredible program. We're going to learn about the impact so many African-American men and women have had here in Maryland. And we'll have some very special guests as well. And you'll get to see first, second, and third place speeches broadcast on air. So it may be you. All right. And you don't want to miss it. For WJZ, I'm Nikki ZaZa, and I will see you there.
Thank you for watching the WJZ Black History Oratory Competition. To find out who wins, watch the awards special on WJZ Saturday, February 24th at 7 p.m. Brought to you by the Enoch Pratt Free Library, Walmart, and Morgan State University.